I had never been to India in my life. I had never volunteered for anything, but I made the decision to go to Sadhguru's ashram in India to specifically volunteer there and take care of this temple. I remember I watched Eat, Pray, Love years ago. I saw her scrubbing floors in an Indian ashram, and I was thinking to myself, why in the world would you do that? Years later, I myself went to an ashram, but if you think of ashram, don't think of the little thing that you see in the movie. Rather think of Hogwarts, because that's how I kind of felt like when I came to the ashram. I felt like, wow, I finally got my letter. So as you can see, I'm not a temple expert, and I had seen so many videos of Sadhguru where he talks about Dhyanalinga, where he says you just go in, and even if you have no experience with meditation, spirituality, or anything like that, you'll become meditative. Even that for me was like a weird thing, like what does it mean to be meditative? Am I gonna be like sleepy, or like am I gonna have like crazy experience? You know, like this California, Los Angeles, like, oh my God, I don't know. I saw my soulmate, and then I went into the fifth dimension, and I don't know, stars were blinking, and you know, all that kind of stuff. What's being meditative? So before I came there, I really didn't know anything. But then I signed up for the Lingaseva Program. It's like a really intense program. I think it's 10 days. For 10 days, you are in the temple all day long. You take care of the temple, you volunteer there, and you pretty much do everything that has to do with maintaining the sacred space, maintaining the energy level, and making it the best experience possible for everyone visiting the temple. And so even just when I walked near the Dhyanalinga at first, I felt so much resistance within myself. I didn't even want to go in. I don't know. I had this urge to run away. And when I went into Dhyanalinga for the first time and I sat down there, I just started getting headache, and my mind went everywhere, and I was like, oh, what is this? What am I doing to myself? This is not working. Am I broken? Sadhguru says this works for everybody. So I just felt this huge resistance within myself, and I thought, okay, this is where I need to go. This is what I need to overcome, because I really wanted to. That was one of my big inner goals, to be absolutely willing when I'm at the ashram for whatever comes towards me, and to let go of all of my resistance and dislikes towards things. So I was like, okay, I don't like that temple. Let's go inside for 18 hours a day. So I signed up for the program not really knowing what to expect. And then I thought, okay, the program starts like in 2 days. Maybe I should sign up for general volunteering and just like spend some time within it, you know, to get myself accustomed to it and to overcome the headache. And I don't know, I had spoken to some people in the ashram, and they had similar experiences. And my now husband that I met at the ashram, he was like, oh, I had the same thing, and then I just sat in Dhyanalinga for 10 hours, and then it got so great, and it all went to me. I was like, I can do that. I can be in there for 10 hours and I can do something good. Let me go volunteer. So I signed up for general, like let's say normal volunteering, not being part of a program. And I think I stayed within the temple from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. that day. Of course, with like little breaks in between. So inside Dhyanalinga, you maintain silence. As a volunteer, you make sure that you wear loose clothes, preferably white or bright colors, and you wear a certain shawl on top of your clothes, a white shawl, which is beneficial for the energy, but also just signalizes to the visitors who are coming to the temple, oh, okay, this is a volunteer, this is someone who can give me guidance. So I quickly picked up what I had to do within the temple without like talking to any of the other volunteers. Like they would give me little cues and hints, like, okay, this is where you stand, this is when you sit down. And it was just the same thing. I was in there and I was like, oh my God, I just want to get out. Oh no. First of all, when you come outside, like the Indian bright sun, and then you come into the temple, and it's kind of like this stone temple. I don't know the English word, like couple. And it's very dark inside. You know, your eyes need to get accustomed to the dark lighting, and it's quiet, except for like, you hear the steps of people, you know, of the visitors, and you hear the bangles clinging. And then you're not supposed to talk to anybody. So you're pretty much alone with your own broken, freaked out self and with your own crazy thoughts, you know? So for like a few hours I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna do this? It was just this urge to run away. I just didn't know even why. I was like, there's nothing going on. I'm just chilling in a magical place. I am just softly gesturing for people to sit down. I'm sitting down myself. So how the rhythm is in the daytime before 5 p.m. is that people wait outside until a little bell is ringing. When the bell is ringing, they come inside, they take a seat, and they sit there with eyes closed for 15 minutes. So first of all, as a volunteer, you guide them towards where is free seating. You make sure to gesture to them not to speak, to be quiet, and not to run around while these 15 minutes are going on. Everybody should be staying seated during these 15 minutes. And then you sit down yourself and you close your eyes and you just sit. And I did that a couple of times. And at one point, I was just looking at Dhyanalinga. I was like talking to Sadhguru in my mind. And I was like, okay, Sadhguru, I can't run away. I can't change the situation right now. I even chose this myself. I'm just gonna surrender. I surrender to whatever this is, whatever is going on inside myself. I just surrender to the situation. Help me, Sadhguru. I just want to be completely willing. And I sat down and I sat, and in an Arsa Siddhasana, in a cross-legged posture, and suddenly things changed within me. I fell into like a really deep meditative state, which I can't even really describe. I just fell into something very, very deep. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And usually in the beginning I was sitting there and then I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna leave 15 minutes over. When can I go out? I need to pee. But then in that time, whoosh, like the 15 minutes went by like nothing. And I was like, oh wow, is it over already? No, I want to go back to that exuberance, to that feeling, to that peacefulness and ease within myself. I just stood up and I did what I needed to do. I did my thing for the next few minutes. And then I couldn't wait to sit down again. I just couldn't wait to go back into that state. I was like, wow. And I fell right back into it again. And I don't want to talk too much about what I experienced or I don't know what I felt within myself, because words don't really describe, and I don't want to go too much into a mental state and make like a thing out of it. I can just tell you it was so beautiful and so full of ease and peace, but also excitement and restfulness. And that I did for the rest of the day until it was like 4 p.m. I think, and then I had a break. And for that day, I think I was done with volunteering there for 6 p.m. Then I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for the program to start, But it was really weird. When I came out, I had all this anger within me. I had all this aggression within me. Like in the temple, I was in this most beautiful, sweet space and so nice. And then when I came out, I was so angry and irritated, agitated, and I just wanted to express my anger to someone. And after that anger had passed, I think that took about like 40 minutes, 30-40 minutes that I had these intense feelings. I settled into a state of extreme clarity. I would say nearly like a painful level of clarity. It was not really painful. It was just as if you had suddenly opened your eyes about yourself, about what you have been doing so far in your life. I just became very conscious of my actions. I became very conscious of in which situations I had brought myself, which fucked up situations, which bad situations, what I had made out of myself, what I had done to myself to end up in all these situations. Before I came to India, to the ashram, a lot of times either I felt like, oh, nothing's wrong, everything's perfect, I don't have any problems in that department of life, or I felt kind of like a victim of the situation that I was in, a victim of other people who did things to me, just like stuck in something that I didn't like, but it was not my doing, it was not my fault, it was other people's fault. Or I felt like, oh, everything's fine, what's the problem? I don't have a problem, These two, I was swinging between those two extremes. And I just looked at things in my life with total clarity, and like I just woke up from a dream and felt like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing in this relationship? Why am I saying these things? Why am I bringing myself into this situation? I'm fucking this up. I need to stop this. I need to come out of this. And I became extremely calm and like clear-minded and focused. I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel like, oh no, what have I done? Ah, it's so bad. I really felt like, okay, this is what I've been doing. I need to change that. I need to do something else. That's not good. Oh, and this is why I feel so bad all the time. Oh, and this is why this relationship doesn't work out. Okay, I need to stop doing that. And I became just very aware of my own shortcomings, but I did not punish myself for it. I did not like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Why have I been doing this? I just looked at it with very clear eyes. I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm where I'm at. I need to change this. And then I thought, okay, now it's time for dinner. It was not like something that I was holding on to or mourning over or crying over. You know how you like hate on yourself sometimes for things you've been doing in the past. No, it just came to my awareness, became very, very apparent, and I was nearly glad that I finally saw it. I was like, oh, all right, okay, I woke up. That was not good. Let's change it now. But now, time for dinner. It didn't have such a huge, I did not make myself so important in that moment. I was just like moving on to the next thing. Then I think one day later, the program really started.